A very good morning, and thanks for clicking on to the Wednesday edition of Vogan's European Outlook. I do apologise slightly for the rant that I did in last night's video. The last thing I want to do is upset people, offend anybody. It's basically just sharing my opinion about talking about the temperatures that we've seen during the course of yesterday. No denying it was remarkable. First time in recorded history, first time in anybody's lifetime, we seen not just one but several places up and down almost the length and breadth of England achieve 40 Celsius, anywhere from Surrey all the way up to York, and it really was a remarkable day indeed. Overnight minimum of 25.9 Celsius blew away the previous hottest night on record, set back in 1990, and we continue to raise the bar in terms of temperature within the British Isles. Of course, Scotland seen a new record. 34.8 Celsius was achieved at Charter Hall in the Borders. Of course, that blew away the previous UK Scotland record. I'll get one of these days. I'll manage to not muck up my lines. Anyway, August 2003, the last time we had the record of 32.9 Celsius in Scotland. But I want to somewhat touch on what I was talking about yesterday. A few comments coming through both on Twitter and on the channel here, talking about I'm a denier and talking about speaking nonsense kind of thing. How can you say that there is no global warming? I'm actually not saying that. I'm not denying the fact that we are seeing a warming of the planet since 1979 or early 1980s anyway. More or less, my point is that I'm questioning the cause of the warming taking place around the world at the moment here. So yes, we're raising the bar in terms of extreme heat. There is more heat records as opposed to cold records. We know that is fact. The problem that I've got, folks, is carbon dioxide being the primary driver in anthropogenic global warming is my problem, because I don't believe my opinion, and I'm sure people will respect my opinion just as I would respect your opinion. When it comes to climate change, it's like politics, it's like religion. It causes people to get upset and angry, actually. And yes, like I say, these temperatures yesterday are quite alarming, actually, given the fact that back in the 1990s, the hottest temperature was, 36 degrees. So we're a good 5 degrees up almost on the record set back in August 1990. But in terms of actually, carbon dioxide, that has been greening the planet in, X amount of years, is the sole cause of a warming world I struggle with. The oceans have warmed significantly in the last 3 decades, and I believe the release of water vapor from that warming into the atmosphere has been generally causing the warming taking place around the world. Is that the sole driver? No, I don't believe it is either. I think there's so many complicated factors, including solar, including alignment of planets, and all the kind of stuff that I don't have a clue about. I think there is so many different things, like cyclical aspects that can be in a multi-thousand year cycle. I believe that we've seen warming events taking place like we've seen in the last 30 years. Bear in mind, 30 years is nothing when it comes to the history of Earth and atmosphere. And I believe that we have seen during the medieval warm period and other warm periods on Earth, I believe we've been here before, and we'll be here again, just like we potentially could be in a little ice age or a true ice age in, X amount of years to come. I think what goes around comes around, And I'm not denying the fact that the Earth has been warming, but I'm denying or questioning, should I say, the cause of that warming and the fact that I don't believe this is the only time that we've seen this kind of warming taking place. Now, the problem that I have here, folks, is that we were talking about, and there's been 1976 has been raised as a comparison to 2022. The problem I've got is two very different summers. 2018 is more comparable to 1976 because we had a longer duration hot spell. This heat wave is lasting a few days. We've seen below normal temperatures just forgotten about, isn't it, really? 10 days ago. Now we're seeing a surge of mega warmth. We're going to see temperatures coming back slightly below average in the next few days. That never took place really in 1976. 1976, very different backdrop with a much colder ocean surface temperature profile around the planet. We also have a much colder land temperature in response to that. And this is why I think that the oceans is a major contributing factor to warming the planet. Because look at this here, the backdrop, most of the land areas was actually colder than normal back during 1976. A very cold era, of course. But look at the warmth taking place. This is for June 2022. And looking at this, and I know it's not very clear, I do apologise. Looking at this, you would think to yourself, wow, what a super hot June it was. Yeah, it might have been actually above normal. But when you look at the temperatures for the month of June, according to the CDAS measurement, that is nowhere near what this looks like, the bottom graphic. So this is the problem that we have, folks, is confusion. There is that much information getting thrown out there, it's hard to know what to believe. And that's where I'm at the moment. Because I'm not denying, I am not turning around in this video and saying to you that I think it's definitely not carbon dioxide. I don't know, it actually could be. But there is that much manipulation, there is that much areas where the media and other aspects, other agencies and so on and so forth want to show you exactly what they want to show you. They're not showing you the big picture. And that is the problem I have. And that's what makes me annoyed, is the fact that if all the information is fact, non-manipulated, then we've got a better picture of where we stand in terms of the global temperature. It is warming, like I say, but this does not match up with this here. And you only have to look at the UAH satellite-based temperature of the lower atmosphere. This is off Dr. Roy Spencer's site at the University of Alabama. Very clear trend of warming. So of course, when the oceans were colder than normal, we had a lower atmosphere colder than normal. Once as the oceans warmed up, of course, we see a spike. That spike being the 1997-98 Super El Nino. Then, of course, we had the consequential dip with the La Nina, as you see here. Then, of course, we have a rise, a few weak episodes of El Nino during the middle portion of the 2000 to 2008 period. Then, of course, we had a drop off, and we had the low solar cycle beginning. Of course, we had the solar minimum, which caused likely caused the 09-10 winter. Then, of course, December 2010, we had the coldest in 100 years for the UK. So even with this warming spell, folks, cold can still happen. And this is the thing as well. Even yesterday, when the temperature was hitting 40 Celsius and many media sources were saying that the world is burning up, the actual global temperature yesterday was only 0.2 Celsius. So there is always balance, and I always fight to find balance on this channel to show you, get away from the garbage that we're seeing in the news and in the newspapers and so on and so forth. This is the month of July, by the way. Look at the areas of cool. Australia, below normal. India, Pakistan, places that are typically hot, below normal. Look at much of the Arabian Peninsula, a large swathe of Africa below normal, Central and Eastern Europe below normal, Kazakhstan, a large swathe of Central Russia below normal, Mongolia below normal. Yeah, we've got areas of hot. No question about that. I'm not denying the fact that the planet is warmer than normal, but look at this here for the first 20 days of the month of July. A large swathes of the planet is colder than normal, and it is looking at the real picture, so to speak, that is the problem. So yeah, definitely interesting when it comes to the climate change argument, and only the next 10, 15, 20 years will really tell the full story, I think. But it's interesting how we're going to go below normal in the next few days. The heat is now getting pushed east, and we will be replaced again by fresher Atlantic weather. But that isn't to say, with the stage set, dry ground, a very hot North Africa, southwestern portions of Iberia, warmer than normal sea surface temperatures, that we can't go back to being very, very hot. Not necessarily to the same extent that we've seen over the last couple of days, but there is a very good reason to believe that we could get back to seeing some very hot conditions, either at the end of this month or even into the month of August. In the next couple of days, I will release my August forecast, and you can stay tuned for that. But keep it right here on my YouTube channel. I do appreciate your comments. I appreciate your view. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. And I'll be back again, hopefully tomorrow with more. Have a great day. Bye for now.